Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the track guide for round 3 of the V8 Veterans from Monza. All right, guys, something different this week. Track guide from Monza. I've never raced in the V8 Veterans from Monza before. I've done a few officials from Monza, but ages ago and on other games. So something different for me this week. I've never put up a track guide for Monza, so yeah, quite exciting. So my brake bias this week is a 50.7. I think the standard was a 48.9. Don't quote me, 48.8, something like that. So once again, yeah, running quite a forward brake bias. And this is the first lap out after my out lap as well, just so you guys know. I don't think there's anything else I have to really tell you. So quite a good lap for me this week, or for the way I've never really been down around that. I've been around the 48s, but 47.57 for me this week. Not the tidiest lap. I really think if I did, on optimum lap, I could probably get another 10th, at least 10th off it. As you'll see, a couple of spots were a little bit untidy, but this will basically give you the general lines and braking markers and all that sort of thing. So we'll jump right into it. I'll just go into, I like to go into this chase cam, just so you guys can have a bit of a look how the car reacts and that sort of thing. All right, let's come down the main straight here. I'll get into it. Everyone knows this straight. Really good for drafting, really good for overtaking, bombing up the inside. So you'll have to watch that one, get a good run out of the last corner coming down this straight. So I'll brake between 200 right up here. So I'll get off the accelerator about the 200, and between the 200 and the 150, I'll get quite hard on the brakes, as you'll have to for this corner. Um, I have left it closer to the 150, but it just unstables the car quite a lot. As you can see, I'm on the brakes just slightly there, but I'll start to do my really hard braking between the 200 and the 150, as I said just before. So once again, off the accelerator, on the brakes, then down the gears. Quite quickly down through the gears. Just make sure you're not going too quickly. Like mine's like a half a second count, I suppose you'd say. It's like from six, you go fifth, fourth, third, second, and then as you're about to turn in first, just so you're not locking those the rear tires and getting a bit of compression lock up, and you'll start sliding and getting unstable into the corner. So if you leave your downshifting till a little bit later in the corner, it tends to stable the car up a little bit more. So I've noticed. So coming into the first corner, guys, all the way back down to first, sorry. And as you see there, I've probably come in a little bit early, but you can take quite a big chunk out of most of these curbs. Something to keep in mind this week. Very easy to get a penalty on the corners, but once again, just keep your inside tyres. Don't drop them onto the curb. So if you can keep your So if you're turning right, your left-hand tyres, don't drop them inside the curb. Or if you're going left, your right-hand tyres, don't drop them inside the curb, as it will get a penalty. So if you can get your left-hand tyres as close as you can to that curb, that's just taking about a good chunk out of the curb without getting a penalty, which is what I've tried to do here. So I've tried to square this corner up. I'd sort of take this corner a lot like if you want to sort of get something in your head, like the last corners or the last two corners on Sandown last week. So if you're sort of used to doing those ones, this is basically how you do these ones. Um, you slow down a lot more, obviously, but it's sort of the same line basically. So you're squaring this one up, trying to stay more mid-track or to right-hand side, and then squaring the next one up to get a good run out of the left-hander here. As you'll see, it's coming across, keeping mid-track, and then really getting it around nice and tight on that curb. Yeah, that's one of those spots I was telling you about. I got a little bit untidy coming out of there. I could get a little bit neater on the accelerator and get a little bit more of a quicker run out of there. So this next right hand is quite straightforward. I sort of stay more out, come in a bit of a mid apex, keep nice and tight in there, and then run out really wide on the exit. But coming into the next left right. Now this is probably one of the harder parts of the track, I'd imagine, for most people. So at about the 200, between the 200 and the bridge there, that's where I start braking. So as you can see already on the brakes, just lightly, but at about midway, yeah, between the 200 and the bridge, I'll get quite hard on the brakes, in a straight line once again, all the way back down to second. Now with these ones, the curbs, they're not like Sandown. They're quite big curbs, but they will shoot you. So I've noticed the first left-hander, you can go in and it's quite mellow, but you want to sort of stay mid-track. So come through, stay mid-track. I've sort of shot across on this one and then had to come across into the next right-hander. It shot me a little bit. Somehow I still got a decent run out of it. I'd imagine here, if I'd done it properly on the right line, I probably could have got another 10th out of that one just here, or a half 10th out of this one. So coming at that braking mark all the way back down to second, so sort of coming in a little bit early, I think I've done there. It was a good line, but as you can see, as you come out of the corner, so coming into that first one, it felt quite good. I came through and it's got that nice transition up onto the curb there. But coming around, you can sort of tend to lose the arse end a little bit, but I didn't hear. But then you got to you're not really squaring up the right hand curb to come out. So you're hitting it, and because it's such a big curve, the car's tilting and wanting to shoot across the track, so it will shoot you and shoot the arse end out. So just watch that one. So just try to square it up a little bit more onto the entrance of the right hander, and then get a good run out of it in second gear. Yeah, as you can see there, I didn't quite come across enough, or I don't know. I just held it, just wanted to kick me out of that one. So this next right hander, quite like this corner. It's I've noticed you can brake really late if you have to, and still get a decent run out of it. As you can see, coming even from back here, it cambers in towards the corner, so it's quite a good corner to get in, get a good run out of. Um, I stay in third, so I'm coming out of here. I usually, if I get a decent run out, I'll hit fourth and then back to third. It just sort of it pings out on the rev limiter a bit too much long in third for me, but so I'll go fourth back to third. And then come in and hit more of try to square the corner up a bit more, hit more of a mid apex. Stay nice and tight until I'll show you where it is. So coming in here, back to third, coming in nice and tight. And as you come around here, you'll see this road here. So I'll come around, spot that road there. So between the road and the end of the curb there, that's where I'll start to get back on the accelerator, usually about the end of the road there. I'll get back on it just to stable the car and then try to get back on the accelerator as hard as I can and get a good run out of here. You can drift all the way to the left-hand side of the road out here, as you'll see there, but don't chuck your right-hand tyres outside the curb too much, as you will get a penalty. Definitely on that corner. I did that a lot in practice. So coming up to this next right-hander as well, usually between the 100 and the 50. This can be a little bit of a tricky one. As you can see, looks like a little bit of camber running into the corner there. So I've tried to keep pushing my brake marker towards the 50 and then really getting hard on the brakes, coming across and taking a big chunk out of this curb, because you can take a lot of that green, like goes the red and white part of the curb and then the green. You can take a big chunk out of that and it'll give you a bit of time. But you just got to get the angle of the corner right, so that you want more of a mid sort of apex. And I've noticed braking late doesn't really work. So sort of between the 100 and the 50, get off the accelerator, slowly start getting on the brakes harder, spotting your entrance, coming across, and then before you hit your apex, getting on the accelerator. So if you can figure out how to get your braking and your gears changing done before the corner so that you can get back on the accelerator, it's the best way to do it to get a good run out of that corner. Just watch the exit as I'll show you here, guys. So on the brakes, I think I stayed in third out of that one. So I was in third out of the corner, up to fourth, back down to third, and I should know that, in a straight line, and then coming across, hitting your mid apex. About here, I start to accelerate, so I'll get hard on the brakes, get off the brakes, sorry, trailing into the corner, make sure I'm completely off the brakes, and then about here, start accelerating. But don't fall into the trap of plonking your foot down on the accelerator to come out of there, as it will want to sort of bog you into the corner and then shoot you across the road, and it'll lose the arse end. It's not hard to control, but it loses more time doing it that way. So just sort of gradually get on the accelerator, quite hard, but just gradual, not dunk straight on the accelerator as you come out, as you see on this one. Back on the accelerator there, just on the apex or just before, but as you can see, I got on it quite hard and it wants to lose the arse end. Remarkably, I didn't get a penalty there, which was really, really good. So this is another really tricky part of the track, coming up to this left, right, left. So as you can see, between that last brake marker there, the 200, right between, I've started pushing it a little bit, between the 200 and the overpass there, that's where I'll get on the brakes. So up to sixth, all the way up to sixth down this straight here. So you go fifth, fourth, third. Just about here, I've noticed for some reason, I've never noticed it before, but just before the curb there on the right, you go fifth, fourth. As you'll hit third, it goes like this. It's like a little rise that it goes and skips the arse end. So just watch that one as you're turning in. You don't want to be turning as the car's like skipping across the road there. So it's sort of like a tunk, and then you go into the corner. You really want to square this one up. Try not to carry carry as much speed as you can through this corner, but don't come through and then shoot out to the right, because you really have to square the next right-hander up to get a good run out of the left-hander. As you'll see here, it's probably better to just watch. Now, all the way back down to third. See, it just does that little skip there. I'll just come back here. So it'll go, yeah, back to third here, guys, and then the turning. Skip there. Coming over, taking a big chunk, as you can see, out of that. I still haven't got my tyres. I didn't get a penalty for this one. Still haven't got my tyres too far inside the curb there. So it saved me a penalty, but I've taken a big chunk out, because as you hit that curb, it'll coast your tyres over those sausage curbs, so you don't actually hit them. So if you've got the speed up and you've got the right angle, it'll coast you over them. And then you can set up your next right-hander. So stay out here. You don't want to coast out this way and then have to try to sort of hug it there, because it'll shoot you too far out to the left for that right-hander. And then you can't set up your left-hander. So you want to come across on this angle, set up more of a mid-track exit, and then coming around this way, squaring it off mid to late apex into the right-hander here. As you can see there, coming across nice and tight. You can probably even jump this last sausage curb just a little bit. Coming across here, just make sure you don't put your left tyres inside the curb once again. So I'm in third here, guys. So I'll come through here, sight my line, and then just before that sausage curb there on the left, I'll hit fourth. I think I'm hitting fourth on this one. Yeah, just to get a good run out. We'll go through that in real time just so you can see what it's like. But that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm squaring this one up, staying mid-track, squaring up the right-hander, and then coming right around and then squaring up the left-hander, and then hitting fourth, coming out of it. I'm here in third, on the gas, nice and tight through this one. Fourth gear, yeah, just before the thing there. And on that one, as I'll just mention to anyone that doesn't really know, I was sure I saw in a few videos from a few streamers that they boot through here and really take a massive chunk out of this curb. And I'm thinking, are they getting penalties or what? But you don't actually, if you're coming out here towards the end of the curb and you're shooting right across, you don't get a penalty if you come out onto this part of the road. So not really sure what the go is there, guys. But so just remember that one, just to get the maximum run out of that left-hander there, guys. As you can see, I just shot right across there and just took maximum part of the road. It's all the way up into sixth gear down the back straight here. Now, this last right-hander can be a real pain in the butt to get right. So it's one of those corners where I'm coming into it, I'm thinking I'm doing everything right here. Yep, that feels good going in. Mid-corner's good, coming out's good. But then I start losing like half a tenth. I'm not really sure what the go is there. Maybe I'm braking too late or something. So something still to figure out. But all the way up to sixth gear here, guys. I go probably where that green, maybe just before the green, about here. So you're looking at your 100, about 2-3 car lengths before the 100 meter board. Quite hard under brakes. So just watch that one. I've noticed if you jam your brakes as you hit your downshift, so you go brake down, 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 it'll lock up and it just doesn't pull you up in time. I've noticed get on the brakes quite hard and start pushing them harder and harder, then start going down your gears, and yeah, it'll pull you up quite well for the right hander if you brake at the market where I brake as well. So I'll just show you here in real time, guys. So fifth, back down to fifth, fourth, third, and then as you can see, trailing off and coming quite late, coming around like really getting a real mid sort of apex on this one. So not coming in really early. You probably can come in early if you're like obviously trying to overtake someone. You probably come more in this way, but I'm coming like right out here and then coming around just to get a coming in to get a mid apex and then just to get a really good run out of this corner so that no one's going to overtake me into the first corner, hopefully, which is going to be quite hard because everyone will probably be quite quick through here. So, and there's a big straight to draft you down the straight there into the first corner. So, good chance that's going to happen. But to maximize your speed out of here, I've noticed, yeah, breaking a straight line, coming across on a later sort of apex, hitting your mid, hitting your curb here in the middle part of the corner, and then just accelerating out as hard as you can. So I'm in third gear here as I come across, hitting my curb, accelerating out, getting on the gas as quickly as possible, up into fourth. Just don't stick your tyres outside this curb at the end here, you will get a penalty. And then up into fifth and onto the main straight here, guys. All right, guys, that's another track guide. I hope it's helped. Can't wait for the race this Thursday. As I said, we don't really race Monza that much, and I quite like the track, so really looking forward to it this week. Haven't really been in a lot of sessions after jump on the night to see what people are doing, what times they were doing, but I think on the weekend it was sort of around about the mid 47. So yeah, looking forward to it. But as usual, drop a comment in the description if you or in the comments if you want to know anything, or just message me on Discord. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more content. Catch you in the race, guys. Cheers.